You know, today it feels that personalization is the new buzzword in the marketing ecosystem, and today we'll have a sneak peek into this exciting world of personalization. We are going to try to answer the following questions. So the first question we will try to answer is, what is personalization? And the second would be, why do we actually need personalization? Next, we're going to talk about how does it work, and we'll finish this webinar on a more philosophical question, how far will it go, and is there a limit to personalization? So when we ask ourselves what is personalization, and if I was able to ask you now, probably most responses will go to either the beautiful Coca-Cola campaign with Share a Coke, where they actually put people's names on Coke bottles, and it was very successful. It increased sales by 2%. It created more than 500,000 Share a Coke hashtags. And the other portion would go towards personalized products. The holiday season is coming soon, and we're all probably going to be on either the giving or receiving party of personalized mugs, towels, pillows, etc. It's very nice. It makes people feel special. It makes people to feel like someone was actually thinking about them personally. But this is not actually the kind of personalization that we're going to talk about today. And to take a closer look on the type of personalization we're going to talk about today, I want to share a story with you. It's a true story. It happened to me about a week ago, and it was just perfect for today. So about a week ago, I saw an ad from H&M on my Facebook feed. Now, I have to admit, I'm not a frequent shopper at H&M, but it was there. They targeted me, and I liked an item that was displayed in the ad, and I clicked on it, which brought me to H&M homepage, where I spent about 15 to 20 minutes searching for different products, items, you know, skimming the variety, and I didn't end up finding anything I liked, and I left the website. 2 days later, I received this nice long time no see postcard in my mail, offering me 40% discount for a product on H&M.com, which brought me back to H&M website, where I spent another 15 minutes looking through products that I didn't need. And I believe I ended up by adding something to my cart and just leaving it. And after another day, I received an email with an online offer that offered me free shipping. I have to admit that there is no end to the story because I haven't ordered anything from H&M.com yet. However, they were able to create a memorable experience and build a connection with me that wasn't there before. If we'll try to analyze what they did from a marketing perspective, they used multiple channels, both email and mail targeting, and they established a connection. And this is what we call personalization, and this is the kind of personalization we're going to talk about today. The kind of personalization where companies are adjusting their offers and their content based on consumers' behavior. Now, if I were to ask you what company is leading personalization today, except Facebook and Google, I guess you would say Amazon. Now, Amazon is taking personalization to a completely new level. Well, it can basically predict what people may like or want, and it has a direct impact on people's choice, which then very positively affects Amazon sales. You can see some of the data here. Sales conversion of Amazon on-site recommendations is about 60%. And this brings me to our next question: why do we need personalization? And maybe more importantly, who needs personalization? Now, to tell you the truth, personalization has been around for a while. So it's kind of an old concept, but in a new digital environment. And today we're going to focus on two main stakeholders in the personalization process, the companies and the consumers, and we'll start with the companies. Now, since I already told you that personalization is not a new concept, let's see where it started. If you were shopping for refrigerator back in the 90s, usually your process would be the following. You will acknowledge the fact that you need to buy a new refrigerator. You watched a commercial on TV. You might even read an ad or two in the newspaper. And then you would end up in a retailing store where a very nice or not so nice salesperson would be interacting with you, asking you questions. They would be interested in your budget, in your favorite brands, in your preferences regarding the color, regarding the size of the refrigerator. And then they will end up by offering you a few models that supposedly should meet your needs. So if we look at this process, it was almost completely, I could say probably 80% seller-driven. Now, what happens today? If you want to shop for a refrigerator, you will probably go online, you'll ask for recommendations in some Facebook groups, you'll Google them, you'll read some consumer reports, you'll go to different retailers, you'll compare prices, you'll compare features, and by the time you end up in the retailing store, you already have about 90% of the information. So you have 90% of the answers. So the salesperson is not the one driving the conversation anymore. They're not the one driving the marketing process. And what personalization is doing is basically bringing the sellers back into this conversation with the consumer. And if you think about it from this point of view, when H&M are adjusting their content based on my behavior, it's very similar to the salesperson narrowing down or offering me certain models of refrigerators based on my responses. Now, moving forward on the seller standpoint, if we look at the marketing funnel from the top to the bottom, the role of the retailer or of the seller is to move the consumers along the funnel, and personalization helps them to accomplish this goal by creating two-way communication, the same communication we used to have with a salesperson in the store. Now, by responding to the information that consumers are providing online, companies can actually adjust their messaging, their content, and their offering as they are leading and as they're accompanying their leads through the funnel. So instead of sending me a generic promotion, they will offer something that I really need, like the 40% discount in H&M. And going back to that example, if at the top of the funnel H&M got me when they displayed Facebook ad, in the middle of the funnel when they were nurturing me, they sent me the postcard, and they sent me the email, and hopefully for them, they will lead me to the end of the funnel when my lead will be converted into sales. Now, basically, personalization in our case, in the digital world, replaces the salesperson by allowing companies to respond to consumer needs. Now, we understand the company side. What about the consumer? Remember, we have two main stakeholders. So we understand why companies are interested in personalization. Now let's see why the consumers are interested in personalization, or maybe they don't. And what makes actually personalization so effective for consumers. So the first thing would probably be that consumers today have too many choices, and this is what we call paradox of choice. Theoretically wise, the more choices consumers have, the happier they are supposed to be. right? Now I can choose instead from 3 models of refrigerator. I have an option to choose from 33 models, which should increase the chances that I will be happier because I will get exactly the refrigerator that meets my needs. However, research along different product categories demonstrate consistently that people feel unhappy and overwhelmed when they have too many options. Now, personalization helps people and actually makes them more happy by limiting the choices because it's adjusting them to their needs, again, based on the information that people are providing. Now, the other part when we speak about consumers is that consumers are individuals with unique wants and needs. And if you look around you, today we embrace individualism. We all want to feel like these unique snowflakes with unique values, unique desires, and people around us and people including us, they want others to acknowledge their uniqueness. Sadly, other snowflakes are too busy with their own uniqueness, which brings people to be very happy and appreciate understanding. And so people today appreciate a lot understanding of their needs, even when it comes for brands or commercial companies. And this is the other reason why people today on the consumer side value personalization. So it creates a sort of win-win situation where companies get to know the consumer better and are able to help the consumer to choose to make the right choice for them. The consumers feel happy because the amount of their choice becomes more limited, it becomes more specific, it meets their needs, and theoretically wise, we have 2 very happy parties. Now the question is, how does it actually work? So I don't know if you had a chance already to try the Your Time Capsule feature on Spotify, but it's pretty amazing. It basically creates a nostalgic playlist of all the music you've been listening to growing up. Now the thing is that the playlist seems to be almost too accurate. And the question is, how is it possible? It feels like Spotify actually knows exactly what we've been listening to growing up. It's my personal experience. I asked friends. I ran a small survey on Facebook. I read some reviews, and you keep hearing the same thing. These playlists, Your Time Capsule is almost too good to be true. So here's where predictive analytics joins the game. And by combining statistical models and data mining and machine learning, it can basically generate very accurate prediction based on what Spotify already knows about us. What kind of music do we like? Our listening history, how long are we listening to each song? Our locations, what our friends are listening for, what kind of music our friends are listening, if we're connected with Facebook, and much more. Now, same works with Netflix recommendations. So if you'll notice the recommendations on Netflix, they tend to be very, very accurate. Again, predictive analytics enables to generate the data and to analyze it in a way that it can predict what we're gonna like next. Now, in addition to being able to create very specific recommendations, machine learning today also enables companies to create dynamic landing pages, dynamic forms, dynamic and personalized emails, and all that by adjusting them based on our online behavior. So each one of us sees what is only relevant for us instead of another generic website or email. And if you think about it, it turns websites into custom page instead of being just electronic billboards, which many of the websites are still are. Now, another direction that personalization is moving to is digital DNA. And it looks like the industry is moving towards a creation of a universal digital DNA for every user. So this DNA will basically include all the information we share online, all our activities, purchases, ads we responded to, clicks, comments, searches, all our online behavior. And thanks to the machine learning technology, it will be constantly updated based on what we do next. Now, for companies, it will eventually enable to offer us exactly what we need, what we want, what we love. They will know what we will like, they will know what we will need before we even acknowledge that. So we might end up with systems that will know us better than we know ourselves. And it brings us to the final question of how far will it go? Now, today there is plenty of research showing that people are willing to share personal information to get discounts or join rewards program. And I'm not speaking only about millennials because a lot of the conversation today is focused on millennials. You can see that with Gen X, you can see it even with baby boomers. People are sharing their information, and here we're speaking about information that is actively shared and not tracking online behavior. And the question is, what's next? And what's next is, and the next is almost here because Amazon may have the answer. I want to play you a short video. You might have seen it, and I think it gives us a sneak peek to a potential future of globalization, of personalization.
Watch I have on, it's a hybrid. It's basically a smart watch that looks like a real watch.
Okay, and I want to finish here at this point with this big question: what's next for personalization? Thank you so much for taking the time to listen, and I'll be happy to take any questions now.
Okay, great. Thanks, Maria. We have a couple of questions here. So this first one is about the previous slide. So do we have any data about Generation Z's buying habits?
Now I'm unmuted myself. So I said that it's actually a really good question because the majority of the research is focused on generation, on the millennials generation today. However, Gen Z is the next generation that is going to follow the millennials, and the question, how are they going to behave, should be of an interest to all of us. So what we know so far about Generation Z is that they're very interested in social responsibility. It means that they prefer brands that show concern about their environment, that these values are extremely important for them. We also know that this generation are the children that were born into the digital world. They are not familiar with the world before digital, so they're very tech savvy, they're data oriented, they compare prices, they compare products, and they are really into real life heroes. So they admire YouTubers and regular people like them, rather than professional actors and models. So in terms of marketing, we will see more real people, we will see more focus on data, and we will probably see more corporate social responsibility, more environmental responsibility from brands who want to target this generation.
Awesome, that's great. So our next question is, do you see a limit to how much information people are willing to share about themselves?
Well, that's another great question. We just saw the video of Amazon's new service, and we know the data. We know that people are willing to share information. So if I need to speculate, I'd say that there will be a certain percentage of people who will be willing to give up their, to give up a lot of personal information to enjoy the full comfort of personalization. Again, one of the greatest examples is Amazon Key Service. And I think we might end up with another segment that will be more reluctant to share their information. But I guess for that we'll have to wait and see, because the way the industry is developing, I don't want to say we don't have where to hide, but if we have an online presence, then we're there and the information is available. So this is the direction.
Fantastic. So our next question is about the Masters in Marketing program, and it's what type of student you're looking for the program.
Sure. So for the MS in Marketing program, we are actually working for people who are interested in marketing, but who never had a chance to get a formal education in marketing. So it can be potentially someone who is working in a field that is related to marketing, and they need to increase their knowledge, and they want to be on top of their game, and they want to be marketing leaders in their organizations. On the one hand, on the other hand, this degree is designed for working professionals. It's an online program that enables people to combine their career goals and their families, along with top-notch, high-level graduate program.
Okay, fantastic. And one final question, and it's a big one, is how do you see the future of marketing evolving?
Well, it is a big one. The future of marketing, if we look at the trends today, we definitely see personalization is a big thing. Machine learning, which will become a part of everything. So we're moving into more personalized marketing. Again, I think you saw some of the examples in this webinar. We're all seeing different landing pages today. We receive different emails, and we receive information that is only relevant for us. So we're moving into the era of, I would say, hyper-personalization, when there is less generic ads and more personalized, targeted content that will be more effective and that will help develop the leads, nurture them, and eventually convert them into active consumers.
Great. It looks like we actually have one more question that just came in that says, can personalization be done no matter what you're selling?
Can you please repeat the question?
Sorry, can personalization be done no matter what you're selling?
My answer is yes, definitely.
Okay.
People today want to feel unique. People want the acknowledgement that they are unique, and it doesn't matter if they're buying coffee or if they're shopping for a refrigerator or for a new purse. And acknowledging this uniqueness, this personal uniqueness, will be relevant to any kind of brand.